You're tuned into Inside Lowell. Inside Lowell podcast brought to you in part by Washington Savings Bank, serving the greater Lowell community for over 130 years. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank.
WellPoint. Unicare is now WellPoint. New name, same commitment to Massachusetts. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point.
Boston North Company, offering a wide variety of business solutions to help restaurant and retail clients save money. Boston North. Mahoney Oil Company, providing warmth and protection to families in Greater Lowell and Southern New Hampshire since 1925. That's Mahoney Oil. Francis E. Preventia Insurance. For auto, home, business, and life, trust the agency Greater Lowell has counted on for more than 40 years. Francis E. Preventia Insurance. GoPuff, a grocery store right at your fingertips. Use the code Lowell20 to receive $20 off your first order of $21, plus free delivery. Download the GoPuff app or visit gopuff.com today. And by the Massachusetts Pirates, bringing all the hard-hitting action and excitement of arena football to the Tsongas Center in Lowell. Get your tickets today by visiting masspiratesfootball.com. And now, time for another Inside Lowell podcast. Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another Inside Lowell podcast, coming to you from the WellPoint Studios here in downtown Lowell. Unicare is now WellPoint. New name, same commitment to its members. At WellPoint, your whole health is their whole point. And we thank our friends at WellPoint, and we thank all of our sponsors, for that matter, for helping to make this podcast, all of our podcasts, and all of Inside Lowell possible as well. And also, while we're thanking people, I want to thank my special guest here for this podcast. You probably recognize him by now. You certainly know the voice by now. He's become like the biggest broadcaster in all of the Lowell area. But he is Ray Boutin, a.k.a. Real Estate Ray Boutin, and he's joining us here in the WellPoint Studios. How are you, Ray?
Great. Doing great, Teddy. Good morning.
Good to have you here. We haven't caught up in a while because you've been busy traveling the world or listing the world.
Yeah. Good run.
Yeah, you certainly have. It's funny. I keep hearing all this stuff that, the housing costs, especially here in Massachusetts and Greater Lowell, continue to stay high despite, some market factors that usually push them down, right? High rates, inflation, etc. And yet, they say there's not enough listings out there. That lack of listings, lack of available properties is why the real estate market is still very strong here. Yet every time I talk to you, you've got a handful of new listings. You've got, what, a half dozen at least that you're about to put on the market?
At least within the next 2-3 months, 7 or 8 that are definitely going on the market.
Wow. And then got commercial and
I've got commercial, I've got residential, single-family condos, multis. Yeah, it's a wide range of properties. I'm working harder now to get those listings. But yeah, I say blessed, but I like to say the harder I work, the luckier I get.
So I was being kind of sarcastic, like saying, well, what are you talking about? There's a lack of properties. Look at how many Ray has. But that when you gather them, that means someone else isn't. And overall, if you're looking at it from the blimp level up above, there's not a lot of properties out there.
We just got our report out from the Massachusetts Association of Realtors, and from 2022 to now, those 3 years, 22, 23, 24, we are down inventory by 35%. There's 35% less properties available now than there was 3 years ago. So
okay, so that's an interesting number because we keep hearing that there's an exodus, right? People are leaving Massachusetts, and they keep talking about people generally of wealth, of means. I would assume many of them are homeowners, right? So why aren't all those properties kind of flooding the market?
First, I think when you hear people are leaving, I think it's people that can't find homes in this area. They're renting. They're tired of renting. They can work remotely. They're leaving to start their families somewhere else because it's too expensive here. They can't find them. And we're only down 35% right now. And if you didn't have these other people cashing in on their houses and moving out of the area, you would have 50% less houses. So yes, it's helping, but when you have over 60% of the people are under 3% or 3.5% and under 70 or 75% of the people with a mortgage rate under 4%, they have no incentive to leave.
Sure.
You know, why sell your $600,000 house, go buy a $750,000 house if your mortgage is going to triple? It just doesn't help. So that is stagnating the market. The people that are moving now are more the people that have to or want to or can. If you own your house paid off and it's worth $600,000 and you want to go buy a $550,000 over 55 condo, the interest rate doesn't affect you. The finding the other property does, you know, making your house subject to finding suitable housing, but you're not really worried about that interest rate. But anybody who has an interest rate higher than $200,000, if you went from a $200,000 at 3% to a $200,000 at 7% or 7.5%, you're doubling your payment. So it's prohibitive for people to do that.
Yeah, and that's the effect the interest rates are having, and it kind of drove it home because I thought about myself. I got lucky. I got in right before those rates turned to 2.75, and you know, now I'm not getting there less than 7% if I decide to sell that, you know, cash in my money and then go somewhere else. But you're doubling your mortgage payment in essence.
Yes, at least.
So I can't imagine what that's doing for people who are kind of on the edge of having enough buying power as is right now, right?
Some of my buyers who I'm working with are regretting they didn't buy last year and they're making offers this year. And one of my clients, house was listed at $400,000. They offered $475,000. They had a $25,000 appraisal gap, meaning if the appraisal came in lower than the $475,000, they'd pay up to $25,000 extra instead of, you know, their loan extra, and they still lost out. They still lost out on that house up in Derry. 475 listed at 400, 475 they lost out. On the other hand, when I listed the property out in Tewksbury a month back, and that's listed at 550, and it goes above 600, multiple offers over 6, it's good on the listing side. So I've talked to some of my buyers to say to them, if you buy the house for $500,000 and it's costing you an extra $400 or $500 a month than what you're renting, at the end of the year, if the house goes up 5%, you made $25,000. If you paid $400 more a month, that's $4,800 over the course of the year. You've paid an extra $5,000, but now your house is worth $25,000 more. You've really netted an additional $20,000. And I don't see things changing in the near future. There's just no new construction that's going to catch us up. And the construction that they do have to build, to the builder's credit or whoever do the codes, it's more expensive to, you know, build a house. A 200 amp panel, you know, 15 years ago, I think maybe $1,800. Now it's $3,800, more than doubled. So you're not going to be building a $250,000 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranch. And you can't find the land either in this area. Yeah,
I've been preaching about this for years, and all this talk about affordable housing, maybe somewhere else in America, not in Massachusetts, not in southern New England for that matter. It's just too expensive and there is not enough land. So what's your advice for those who might be at that stage in their life where they're thinking of either, well, we need to get another home because our family grew, or we need to get out of the house, downsize, or whatever? What's your advice, and is it the same for both groups?
It depends. It's going to depend each individual client, but I will tell you, the client that I have talked to, and some of them I've said you need to wait, you need to save more money, or it's just not the right time for you. Those that are in the market, be aggressive, go out, buy it, because that's 7% or 7.5% right now, and they've gone up over the last month. We can talk about that in a minute, but they've shot back up interest rates. So that's not going to be forever, in my opinion. I'm not not JP Morgan or Chase Bank, but typically the interest rates will drop eventually. So you marry the house, you date the rate. And by doing that, you're in. And once the rate goes down, then you can refinance. And the other thing I'm going to point out, it's a difficult market out there. There's multiple offers on, those first, second time home buyer houses. If interest rates go down, it gives everybody more buying power. The prices are going to keep going up because now you have more money to spend. So people don't come in and say, I want a 7% mortgage and I want to pay $493,200 on a house. They don't. They come in and say, I basically want my mortgage to be $2,800 or less, $3,000 or less. So, you can go into one community and maybe the house is worth $20,000 more. You go to another community, say, oh, the price is $40,000 less, but their taxes are an extra $100 a month. It all kind of washes out, and that's what I advise them to do.
So you're saying if you can afford it, don't be scared off by the interest rates. They'll come down eventually. What if you're kind of iffy? You're kind of on the border of, just barely qualifying. Should you wait till the interest rates come down, or are they not coming down? We were told they were going to have come down like 3 times by now already as we sit here in late April, and yet they, as you said, they keep going up. Last week, bankers woke up to a notice that, hey, the rates have gone up.
Watch the Federal Reserve. They're trying to tame inflation, and
I thought the Inflation Reduction Act did that. We tamed inflation. I keep hearing this on political cartoons and seeing it everywhere.
You're looking at the wrong political cartoons. So
they didn't tame inflation. It shot back up, which, by the way, is fact. This is me being facetious.
No, I know. And I get it. It's unfortunate that people hear that headline and think, oh, inflation's down. Go out and buy eggs, bread, milk. We all know everything we see has gone up. Everywhere we go, going out to eat at a restaurant has gone up. Gas prices are going up. So you're not going to see I don't see inflation, but the Federal Reserve understands how the economy works. They have to keep stifling. The economy is still, in their mind, overheated because it's above 2.5 or 3%. They're not going to lower interest rates. They're getting pushback from the current administration, not to pick sides, but every administration in an election will do this to make themselves look better, do what they have to get gas prices down and interest rates. They're still going to keep interest rates high because of what we have in inflation. So, but eventually that moving train, for the analogy, it's hard to get a train going. It's hard to stop a train. They may overshoot and then they'll have to lower. So I don't think interest rates are going to be here. I have very close family members that have advised to buy houses and working with them to buy a house because I think this is still a good time if they can afford it, and the interest rates will eventually come down. They will have home ownership. They will have that security because rents aren't coming down. We're not building enough housing stock to take care of all the current rental market that we have. And that's the difference between now and 2006, 7, and 8.
What about all these plans that you hear from the governor, these massive, increases in new housing? And if she's successful, we're talking here in Massachusetts, ADUs, which we know will bring down everybody's property value, right? Isn't that what we found out last year?
I mean, I've said this a few times. If Lowell passed the ADU thing, we'd have thousands. I mean, hundreds. I mean, dozens. I mean, a few ADUs eventually. Like there's not a single bullet. There's not going to be one panacea that's going to change this. This MBTA rezoning thing, they'll work around it. People will, they'll fit in where they can. It'll increase traffic. And, unfortunately they take these centers that have, utilities, the water, the sewer, and they keep adding to us instead of going out west in the state. I mean, I just flew back from Florida, and as you're flying back and you look out at all that vacant land out there, why aren't we developing that? Why aren't we putting infrastructure out there? Because we could do housing out there, and people may have to drive an hour to work, to commute. But it's like, oh, why does it have to be Greater Lowell? Look at what's happening out in Drake with the Murphy Farm proposed 300 3 or 4 bedroom units. That's like that. Nobody did right planning for that. What you're going to do, their school system, their everything. So it's what the governor is doing is okay, but you still don't have. You're not going to appease the deficit of housing. A few years ago, they stated that New Hampshire was short 25,000 houses to become equilibrium. That was a few years ago. Massachusetts is 7 times the size, I believe. We're going to put 40 in. It's not even double what
Right.
New Hampshire. So the number is 40, isn't that? That's kind of normal. We need that growth anyways. And I worry about, do we have enough inspectors to go inspect those houses? Now I'm being sarcastic.
That's a topic
Right?
for a couple of minutes.
Do we have the inspectors for all that? So
Real estate RayBoutin from ReMax Properties is joining us here in the WellPoint studio. So we teased that you've got 7 or 8 new properties coming on over the next couple of weeks. Any of them you can kind of give us a sneak peek as to where they're going to be? Are we all in Lowell, surrounding communities? What are we talking about?
Greater Lowell, let's say. I've got Pepperell coming on the market. That's going to be a single family house. I've got 2 houses in Pawtucketville that'll be coming on the house, single families. I've got one over on Rogers Street across from Fort Hill Park, has a view of the park. Beautiful. Just did an expansion on it. It's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath property.
That's the desirable Belvedere neighborhood of Lowell.
Yes.
And Pawtucketville is a pretty desirable neighborhood.
Yeah, since I lived there, Pawtucketville's,
By the way, can you please clarify, because I've heard both called God's property. Is it Centerville, Christian Hill, or is it?
We have a rock.
Or is it Pawtucketville?
Rock,
Which one is God's country?
Yeah. Depends who lives there. Ask Tippa. He's going to say he's in God's country. So I've got a Condex in Salem. I've got a single family coming on in Dracut, nice big property. I've got a commercial property downtown that's going to be coming on in the next month, 6 weeks. Pelham, I've got another single family up there that I'm working on, and I keep meeting with people all the time. And for the agents out there, we were talking earlier, like, this sounds like it's a busy market. I'm busy because I focus on those listings. A lot of these are, listings I've worked on for a while. I keep in touch with people. If you're a real estate agent, call your old business, because that's your new business, your referrals. That's where you get them. One of the things Zillow has success, they sell you your old leads. I don't buy them. I just call people, meet them,
Create
pop
your
in.
own.
Yeah, send my newsletters and calendars. So
you've got a nice variety of properties within Lowell, but also outside and Pepperell. Plenty of land, I'm assuming, with that property.
Acre lot, beautiful. Yeah. Over an acre.
Right. What's a Condex? You said you've got a Condex in Lowell.
A Condex is a form of condominium ownership where there's 2 units. Usually they're side by side, and it's 50-50 that you own the area. They typically don't have condo fees per se. They'll do a master insurance plan for the whole building. If there's a septic system, you'll both be required to pay to pump it out or be responsible for that. But other than that, you're in charge of your own maintenance on the outside. You plow your own driveway. You cut your side of the lawn. So it's a way for people to get into. It's not quite a single family, but it's not quite a condominium complex with 100 units. So it can be a nice.
But it's ownership, which is how you kind of start building that generational wealth, which we keep hearing so much about. So a condo kind of sounds like a better idea right now, because there's just aren't that many single family homes, quote unquote starter homes anymore.
There isn't. There aren't, and even the starter homes, people are getting forced out. I've mentioned it before with you. Think of the people in Somerville back in when did I work there? 89 to 94. I had kids that were in the area that worked for me. We used to play hockey on Sunday nights, and they were from Somerville. And you'd ask them where they live. Oh, I live in Somerville. They were embarrassed. You could pick up a 3-family for $150,000. You can't touch a single unit for a 3-family, for under $700,000-800,000 now in Somerville. It's exploded, and you're never going to go back to getting that $150,000 2 or 3 family there. Right. And Lowell's the same way. We're seeing growth. I am seeing people from the inner city areas, Acre, coming back out to the suburbs, kind of like we did 2 or 3 generations ago. Your family chose Dracut, which is kind of North Lowell. It's
cyclical. I always laugh when these folks talk about this. Everybody wants to live in a city now. Maybe now. Talk to me in 5 years. They go to the suburbs, and then they decide to come back to the cities. We're old enough now, Ray. We're in our 50s. I'm not giving away any secrets where we've seen this cycle play out. So.
Absolutely. You start in downtown Lowell, you move to outer Lowell, maybe move to Dracut, Chelmsford, Tingsboro, Tewksbury, and then you want to come back to the condo. And they're voting on the new parking regulations tonight. I hope they get stricter with on-street parking. You want to have more things downtown, you got to free up those parking spots. So That'll help thrive.
I was part of
I'm going off on a tangent.
I was
but
part of a good text thread last night about that from some downtown business
Yeah.
owners. And it's kind of, I think, split 50-50 on folks who think it's a good idea, bad idea. We shall find out.
Yeah.
All these properties, you're going to list them, and they're eventually going to come under agreement. Would you have a couple of weeks ago, you had 4 listed and then 4 under agreement within a week or two, right?
Yeah, I did.
But I heard you say something on the radio, your other broadcasting career besides the podcasting, where you said people are starting to forego the home inspection.
Yes.
A buyer is willing to pay above asking price, those high interest rates, etc., and they're not even going to get a home inspection to know what they're buying.
Yes.
First of all, isn't that the law? Don't you have to do that? Doesn't a bank? How's a bank going to finance you without a home inspection?
Bank is going to have an appraisal. They don't get into home inspections. Home inspectors are licensed, and hope I don't get in trouble for this, but like real estate agents, they're not all created equal. There's some agents that are better than others. There's some home inspectors that are better than others. I've seen them go into a house that was, I thought, in great shape, and I'm not a licensed home inspector, and they just tear it apart. It's not up to current code. It's not up to current code. Well, the house is 60 years old. Of course it isn't, but it's grandfathered in. There's no health or safety issues with it. You just don't know. Recent house I just had under agreement, we had 12 offers. 6 of them had no inspection. And the numbers, the sale price was all pretty much similar within a couple of $1,000. And without any prompting from me, and I would have prompted them, the seller said, well, why wouldn't we go with somebody offering no inspection? Now, this house was very well maintained. The family took care of it for their parents. It was a great house. Anything that needed to be updated got fixed. Nothing to hide, but they didn't want that possibility that a bad home inspector comes in and, tears the house apart. And then what's our obligation to disclose? Well, the home inspector said the roof's at the end of its life. It's 3 years old. We don't, so they focus on the ones that are not having a home inspection, which for my buyers, I'm always had a family member buying a house and I'm like, we're getting an inspection on this property. We got it. But I also have to tell the buyers the reality that, when I'm on the other side and I get 12 offers and 6 of them have no inspection, they're all relatively close in price. We're going with the ones with no inspection. So they have been the buyers have been foregoing their inspections. Something I'm working on right now is giving my buyers a home warranty for a year. So it's something that I think I'm going to start pushing, that they can get a home warranty for a year. So if there's something wrong with the house, substantially, they can use the home warranty to get that item fixed.
All right, I want to circle back to that in a quick second here. I sound like Jen Psaki, but so just to be clear,
you'll actually answer the question.
You as the buyer's agent, you're telling your buyers, no, don't insist on the home inspection, correct?
I tell them, my specific words are, I'd never advise you not to get a home inspection. It's important. When I bought my house up at Winnipesaukee 2 years ago, I didn't get an inspection. It was a 4-year-old house. I took a little risk.
All right, so that screams to me that the reality is it's very much still a seller's market, and if you don't drop your home inspection demand, other buyers will, and you're going to lose that house. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes and no. I did have a house that was under of the 4 I put on the market, one of them did have an inspection clause, and we took their offer, and they were very reasonable. I told them ahead of time, please don't give us a hard time about a loose light switch. That's not what the home inspection's about. Don't come back later and say, we don't like the color of the house because it's yellow. You knew that when you made the offer. You knew that the house is a little bit older. And we took that, and the agent was reasonable on the other side. The things that they found we weren't aware of, and it's reasonable that we made an adjustment on the price. It's never going to happen with the inspection, but buyers have to be aware. And what happens is my buyers will make inspection. We just got 2 rejections this morning from 2 offers we put in. Higher price and no inspection was what the feedback we got from the agent with my 2 buyers. So 2 different buyers and 2 different properties. So I'm not advocating don't do the inspection, But if you do decide after, and that's what I find most of my buyers will do, is say, you know what, waive the inspection. We just want a house.
All right.
We're done.
So what's the warranty? What does the warranty do? Does it offer some protection
It does.
that
If there's
a home inspection
a leak
would?
in the roof would, obviously you're going to have insurance. So if there's wind damage and the shingles get ripped and there's water damage, that's going to cover on insurance. But if it covers your heating system, it can cover appliances, it can cover mechanicals and things like that. Kind of the big ticket items that if somebody throws a baseball through your window, that's not going to be covered under the warranty. But it'll cover a lot of those different things.
So who offers that? Is it you as the agent, or do you have a company that you're working with?
Separate
that offers
company.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
separate outside
So kind of like when
company.
you buy the extra car, when you buy a car, they try to sell you an extra 3 or 5 year warranty, right?
You buy a TV, they want to sell you a warranty.
Right.
You want to buy a car, this is something that I will have peace of mind with my buyers. I'm working on, I think 13 or 14 former player, baseball, softball players that I've coached. I don't want to see them in a situation. So if I buy the warranty for them, that to me would be important. I think their parents would appreciate that. And to be honest, I think I'll probably get more referrals from it. So it'll, in the scheme of things, I'm going to help them, and it helps me. It helps my reputation that I'm not putting them into something that they're really going to get stuck. Because if they are using every bit of money, they're not going to have $5,000 to replace a heating system.
And how does the cost of said warranty compare to what you would have paid for a home inspection anyway? Cheaper?
Great point. No, a little bit more expensive.
A little more expensive. Okay.
Home inspections can be anywhere from $400 or $500 up to $700, $800, and I think the home warranty is around $700 or $800. So,
okay. But you're getting coverage for those expensive things you're going to need if and when. Anyone who owns a home will tell you
it's a 1 year warranty.
Oh, just 1 year.
So
okay.
1 year they can renew it, but it's a 1 year warranty. You're probably going to find the things wrong within that first year.
So $700, what are you talking? $400,000-$500,000 average house price. It's a little spec, right?
And if I'm paying for it, if it's free for them, they'll probably be like me. They'll be happy with it, and you.
All right.
Yeah, they'd like that. So I'm gonna start. I haven't told them yet. So if they see this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we're getting a home warranty."
Oh, a sneak peek.
I had 4 buyers go under agreement. 1 was last month, and 3 were last week, and that's incredibly unusual. But it's being persistent, not giving up, tenacious, keep making offers. Don't, because you never know. I had a house recently. I thought I was going to have multiple offers. I got 1. Surprised. I thought I would have more. You just never know. And on the house that I think, well, I hope we have 3 or 4 offers, I get 12 or 15. So it's a crazy market.
It also helps to have a seasoned real estate agent who, when you're going through the house, can see some of these things that, a home inspector will definitely find, but a rookie, inexperienced realtor may not see them.
I can show them the difference between forced hot water, forced hot air, oil, gas, those things, high efficiency boilers or furnaces that maybe some of their agents don't understand, because when I see their listing sheets and they say high efficiency and you go down and it's 82%, that's not high efficient. So yeah, I do have 30 years of experience. I am using that to help and I train my buyers, because if they go to an open house, they'll be able to say, oh, it was nice. They had a high efficiency forced hot air furnace. Good. Did they have AC? Are you looking for the coil coming in? A little bit of a training, and they enjoy that.
I think there were 2 houses that we looked at when full disclosure, you helped us buy our house. You found signs of recent basement flooding that I didn't see. So
there's telltale signs that I'll point out. I'm not an expert. I've been doing this for so long. I kind of see the signs and say I would watch out for this.
You're an expert on buying and selling homes. Don't sell yourself short.
Not inspecting, no. Yes.
30 plus years.
Yes.
And you always try harder, just like number 2 always tries harder.
Yeah.
So how's that for a little tease?
Oh boy, yeah.
All right. So if folks want to, well, start the relationship with you. They may not be buying or selling a house now, but
sure.
Wouldn't hurt to have somebody come in, look at it, offer an opinion.
Yeah.
And then,
it's free. It's a free consultation if they want to meet me.
You're willing to do that?
I am.
And
I do it all the time.
All right. How do they get a hold of you?
Give me a call on my cell phone. RayBoutin, I'm at 978-502-8352. RayBoutin, 978-502-8352. Or visit my website, realestaterayBoutin.com. And understand, I got that website from Teddy. I give you all the credit in the world.
I can't tell if that booming radio voice is even better when folks can see your handsome mug. I mean, look at that. When he looks right at the camera, right? I mean, I think it amplifies the voice.
He still
even
makes
more.
fun of my radio voice.
Yes, I do. Well, I mean, I heard the thought out in the office. Somebody passed out just now. So just like in the old days.
Yes.
Hey, Ray, as always, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Lots going on. Tough, complicated times to be buying and selling a home, and you need to look for every advantage you can get. Trust me, folks, I've seen it. I've had family members and close friends who've benefited from it. Having RayBoutin on your side is a tremendous benefit. All right.
Thank you, Teddy.
Thank you, my friend, and thank all of you for joining us here as well on our latest Inside Lowell podcast. Hope you learned something, and hope you're smart enough to take advantage of Real Estate Ray if and when that time comes for you. Till next time, stay safe, everybody.